Hey, what's up YouTube? Final Bag 6 here from AusYugiTuber. I have an Inzektor Deck recipe here, so it's pretty good. It's been Dark Worlds before. I haven't tested it against much others because it's a pretty new deck recipe that I've built. Inzektor's obviously been out for a while, so Inzektor Hornet, 1 Dragonflight, 1 Gigamantis. Not much point running more than 1. I think it's just overkill putting 2. Triple Centipede, triple Ladybug, pretty standard, and 1 Hopper. Only need 1, you don't need double hoppers and stuff. So that's it. 2 Marshmallow. Now the reason why I run 2 Marshmallow is because they're a good defense. They're a good first turn playoff, so you just set it in defense and it'll just keep your opponent preoccupied for a while they figure out how to destroy this. You can be activating other cards to get your Inzektors you need to your hand. So 2 of them obviously just for the double in case they kill 1, you've got another defense. So that's a strong defense towards the deck. That's why I think I'm running Marshmallows. 2 Tour Guide, Dark Armed, Armageddon Knight, 1 Mystic Tomato. You don't need, I don't think we really need Mystic Tomatoes more than 1, and I'll show you why after. Armageddon Knight, you only need 1. There's other cards that can send cards to the graveyard in this deck anyway, so there's not much point rolling more. Onto spells. 1 Book of Moon, 1 Monster Reborn. Pretty standard stuff now. 2 Pots, obviously to search out for your Inzektors, draw 3 cards. Draw 3 cards, but everyone knows the effect for it now. Foolish, obviously to get Inzektor on the grave, most likely your Hornet. Triple MST, great for this format. I don't run Heavy Storm this deck, because I think 3 MSTs really does the deal. You got triple spell kills, spell trap kills, and although people sometimes use them to pop their Inzektors, that's just a waste. Don't use your mystical spaces to pop your Inzektors unless you absolutely have to for some reason. So, triple MST, really good for picking off individual trap cards and spells, stuff like that. 2 Zet-Calibers for the loop, fairly obvious. Now, triple Zet-Calibers, not many people run this card, but I think it's really OP. If you don't know, your Inzektors get 1,000 attack point boost from Zet-Caliber, and if it attacks, your opponent can't activate any spell or trap cards. So you can pump up something, I don't know, if you're really retarded or you're just bored, you can pump up your Dragonfly, 2k beat stick, can't activate any spell or traps, just go for the attack, or pop it on Centipede, something like that. It also can be used for like a half loop, not the full loop, but it can be used as a loop substitute. So that's spells, now to traps. 2 Finish Chains, fairly obvious, locks down your opponent's monster and effects negated for it, so fairly obvious. Double Call the Hornet, it's good format, obviously to get back your mislaid Inzektor cards, perfect for Dragonfly if it gets in the grave. And even if you want to try something like, say you have Hornet in your hand, you might want a Foolish Burial, or do something that gets your Dragonfly in the grave, maybe Call the Hornet in, something like that. Maybe, it's up to you don't really have to, but it's a good strategy. Now, double Safe Zone. Now, if you don't know what Safe Zone does, you could activate by equipping it to, well, not equipping it, but choosing an attack position monster that you control. Or, equip it to a monster that's an attack position. It can't be destroyed at all, can't be targeted. So by card effects, by monster attacks, things like that. So it makes it invincible pretty much, except unless obviously if they take out the Safe Zone. So, and it can't attack you directly, but personally, I think this is easily one of the best cards of the deck because you can pop it in your Dragonfly in case they effect Veil it or something like that. So you can pop it on Safe Zone, keeps your card from being destroyed, and if your opponent destroys this, you can have another one set, so you can just activate it and say, oh, you can't destroy my Dragonfly. And if it does get destroyed, obviously you can go back to Call the Hornet to pick it back up. 1 Bottomless, and the reason why I don't run multiple is because you got 2 Compulsories. Obviously, compulsories are really, really useful. I would run 3, but I don't really have the space in the deck. So, dual compulsories, you probably use them for most of the cards. Bottomless, you don't use if you want to really remove from play a monster or if it's a key play there. 1 Torrential, just screws over 6 spams, things like that. Also, it's an overall very useful card. 1 Dark Bribe, just in case your opponent activates that odd spell or trap that can ruin you. Something like Eradicator and picks traps so that your Inzektors are wide open to attack if they're not Exceed or anything. Solemn Warning, just one, obviously, because of the ban list, and 2 Deepres, so obviously fairly obvious. I don't run Solemn Judge. I think it's a waste, really. When you think about it this way, you have your Solemn Warning, obviously, your Torrential, your Bottomless, and double Compulse. That's 5 traps there that can negate summons or send them back, etc., etc. So that's fairly obvious why I don't need the Summoning Harp. And to negate spells, you have your Dark Bribe, obviously. So you don't really need to worry about spells and traps. You have your MSTs as well in case they activate a continuous one. So personally, I think it's just a waste with this deck. So back onto Extra Deck now. It's a bit of mix and match. A few of them you'd probably run, definitely, like most Inzektors would run. But currently I'm still building on the Extra Deck, but this is my just random bunch of extras, XZs that I've put together. So Gachi probably wouldn't run him much, but he's just there, 2-star, you're better off having him than not. Giga Brilliant, obviously a good card. Leviathan, Tyrannosaurus, 2 beat stick kind of cards. Double Zen mains, really easy to summon, perfect for getting out with your centipedes, things like that. Even if you want to use your marshmallows, so you can do that. Levi, obviously to get back your banished cards in case your opponent uses something. Back onto level 4s, so just a couple of them, wind up Zen Master, Heroic Champion Excalibur, Utopia. Not really a key point of your deck, but there are a few level 4s. So now onto level 5s, you have your Adrius and your number 33 Chronomaly. Makumek is just a card I've picked. Obviously Adrius is fairly obvious why I'd pick him. Level 5 is really good. Chronomaly Makumek is level 5. Is pretty good. I think he's good. No one really uses him, but obviously if you don't know his effect, you can detach a XZ material to select an opponent's monster, and if it has an a decreased attack, so you can you gain the difference between the attack and what its attack is. So if you say for Inzektors, if you activated, say, Zecalibur to gain 800 attack, and for some reason, if your opponent had that or whatever, so 800 attacks, so not only would Makumek permanently gain 800 attack, but it would also inflict 800 damage to your opponent, so I think that's pretty good. And Gaia Dragon Thunder Charge at level 7, obviously, with his effect, you can exit him with level 5, so that's, well, exit him with a level 5 material. So just a recap over the deck. So the compulsories, bottomless, torrential, solemn, 2D prisons, dark bribe, 2 safe zones, really good. 2 calls, obviously, again, fiendishes. Triple Zedahawk, I insist that you do run these. These are actually really OP. They're good for getting the loop started. Can get a pretty good loop going. In fact, I think they probably can get the loop. So, yeah. Zecaliburs, obviously. Triple MST. Don't run Heavy Storm. I just run triple MST and Dark Bribe to negate Foolish Burial, 2 pots. Monster Reborn, obviously, a Book of Moon, now to monsters. 1 Armageddon Knight, obviously. 2 I think is just overkill. If you really need multiple, then just resummon him back with monster when he's destroyed or whatnot. So, yeah, you can XZ 4 with Mystic and Armageddon, so stuff like that. Mystic Tomato, obviously, is pretty good. Dark Armed. 2 Turs, 2 Marshmallows. These are really good. Trust me, you will want to run them. Hopper, triple Ladybug, triple Centipede, Gigamantis, Dragonfly, and of course Hornet. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment. This is the first video, but so if you have anything on the deck, any recommendations, things like that, then yeah, definitely comment below. This is the first video, obviously, so there'll be more deck recipes, openings, maybe Dueling Network vids, things like that coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that, and thanks for watching.